and start recording. Should be live. We're going to press go live on Facebook. And then I'm going to share the stream. Share the stream, copy the link. Everything seems to be working. I'm going to go over here to share the link and another app. We should be good. So if you want to skip ahead a minute to make sure, well, if you want to skip ahead a minute, might be great. Reason being, I want to make sure everything's working. So then we go over here, then we go over here. So I'm simultaneously streaming to Facebook and YouTube. And the reason that I'm doing that is so I can do that. I don't know. But I'm opening up a number of windows. That way I can see 3 different chats going at the same time. Because that way I can. Okay, there we go. See, we're good. We're good. I should be able to see the comments there. I'm going to scroll over here on... No, I'm not. Come here. Come on. Sorry, I'm dealing with YouTube. Okay. Okay, let's close that. We're good there. We need to edit this. No, we don't. Cancel. Okay, so if anybody's chatting on YouTube, I can't hear you. I can't see you, the chat's not working, and if I try changing it, what's going to happen is it's just going to go to crap. So we're not going to do that. So anyways, hi, my name is Jacob Robertson. I am a real estate agent in the Pacific Northwest. If you know anybody who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, I can tell you what I think the market's going to do. It's going to go down a bit. So if you want to sell your house, you should sell it really soon. You should have sold it like 10 months ago. That would have been ideal. The next best time is today. That actually reminds me, I'm going to make a note. I got to reach out to a client. Name and bug. Okay, so today's episode, I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT with search. And so what we're going to do real quickly is I'm going to go over here. Got one more thing to do. Put that right in the middle. And I can still see all my stream health stuff. You doing okay there? Facebook? You okay? You're good? Keyframe rate too low. I find that acceptable. I find that to be an acceptable issue right now. Given that I don't care too much. And the reason I don't care too much is because I don't care too much. I'm not going to care. I'm not going to care. Anybody who's watching, I don't care. So what I'm going to do is type in a couple of things. And I'll show you this all in a minute. I just don't want you to see how messed up my default page looks. So we go to display capture, then we double click. Then we go to Safari, then we go to Safari, new chat. And then I'll probably have to resize it because every single time you do this, you have to resize it. It's terrible. It's a very sad state of affairs, people. It's very, very sad. So this is a ChatGPT window, and I'm hoping that this winds up, well, let's see what happens when I open another window. Okay, so, oh no, you get to see how messed up everything is. No, I'm not switching to Chrome. Don't even try to make me Google. And I'll go ahead and leave this up here so you can see the little URLs that I'm using. Actually, maybe not. Maybe I'll get a little bit more real estate here. Go like that, because you can just see it through the tabs. I'm going to have to make this smaller. So the text chatty window is not going to be as big as I wanted it to be. I apologize. Maybe you should skip ahead. I can go back in time and say, hey, maybe you should skip ahead more time. Okay, so we got those windows resized. Here's ChatGPT. You can see the various things that I've searched, which I'm actually not too terribly concerned about using because I don't do anything terrible on the internet for the most part because I don't. Actually, I suppose I should backtrack a little bit in case Bree or Ray or Emily or anybody else is watching. I'm going to stop talking about the most current events and the latest things because in my searching of trying to figure out our news pipeline and understand how information comes to us, I discovered just how absolutely corrupt and toxic it is, and there's no point. There's no freaking point. You're just better off not watching the news. Pay attention to anything because it's all oligarchs. It's like globalist oligarchs versus nationalist oligarchs. The end, that's who controls everything. And it looks like the American oligarchs are winning. So good for us. And I don't like that because I actually don't like them either. But it's like, it's, if you don't like what the United States does, go to China. Like, you should see what the other guy looks like. And then trying to talk to people about this. So Bree, you're the greatest example ever. So Bree, we try to talk about stuff, and then we're sitting there arguing about like whatever our information sources told us, and it's just useless. It's just freaking useless. So I want to show you guys how to use the internet in a way that's going to benefit your life. Now I'm going to do this up a little bit so you can see the prompt. Now you're going to be able to see the prompt after I click enter, because I don't want to sit here and resize the window the whole time. It's just going to bug the crap out of all of us. So now I'm 5 minutes in. Okay, great. We're going to get to it. What I'm going to do, and I've already done a little bit of searching, so Amazon Open Data is the thing that I want to learn today, and I'm going to show you how to use a combination of ChatGPT and Google to learn things that you might not know. Let's backtrack a little bit and define these things. So everybody's talking about AI. There is no AI, okay? AI doesn't exist. It's a term that people use. AI means artificial intelligence, and typically people are talking about, I want to say like emergent general intelligence, the term, something like that. But what it means is the thing becomes conscious and wakes up. That's really what people are talking about when they like the term AI means. What we have is machine learning, which is basically a bunch of statements that say if this, then if this or that, if that, then or this. It's like an if-else statement, I think is what they call it. And what ChatGPT or like pretty much any of these big data programs is just a whole bunch of if-else statements, like a trillion of them stacked on top of each other, and then you can get something like a language model chatbot. So what is OpenAI? We should just cover real quickly what OpenAI is. So we'll go to their website. I really got to clean this thing up. This stuff, this is from like 10 years ago. But whatever. OpenAI. So we just type in OpenAI, and we can go to OpenAI, and this is a great thing to do with all websites. Go to the About page. OpenAI. OpenAI is an AI research and development company, and I'm going to get my glasses. Our mission is to ensure that artificial general intelligence benefits all humanity. So artificial general intelligence, yeah, that's the thing that they're talking about. OpenAI's mission is to ensure that artificial general intelligence, by which we mean highly autonomous systems that outperform humans at most economically valuable work, benefits all of humanity. So isn't that convenient? They changed the definition. Breathe. This is why we don't do news. We will attempt to directly build safe and beneficial AGI, but we will also consider our mission fulfilled if our work aids others to achieve this outcome. Read our charter. I'm just going to go to the Wikipedia. So we go OpenAI Wikipedia. Because sometimes Wikipedia is good for the things that it's good at. Yeah, Wikipedia is not for sale. It's owned by a cabal of terrible people and intelligence agencies and people in San Francisco. So OpenAI is an artificial intelligence AI research laboratory consisting of the for-profit corporation OpenAI LP and its parent company, the non-profit OpenAI Incorporated. The company conducts research in the field of AI with the stated goal of promoting and developing friendly AI in a way that benefits humanity as a whole. The organization was founded in San Francisco in late 2015 by Sam Altman and others, Elon Musk, who collectively pledged US $1 billion. Musk resigned from the board February 2, 2018, but remained a donor in 2019. OpenAI LP received US $1 billion investment from Microsoft and Matthew Brown companies. No link. That's interesting, but we're not even going to look at it. OpenAI is headquartered at the Pioneer Building in Mission District, San Francisco. So, it's a year to open, it's a year to benefit everybody with whatever. So that's what that is. So let's go right here. We're going to go right here. So what is it? It's a chatbot. It's a chatbot, machine learning bot. And then we have Google over here. What's Google? Google's a search engine. It's your formerly favorite search engine. If Brian, if you're watching it, Brian Wymie, if you're watching this, Ava's never going to know the greatness of Google, but you and Anna do. Remember what Google was like in 2004 or something like that? You just answer a question. You just ask it a question that spit it out, and that was good and dandy. But then they're like, oh, we need to make as much money as humanly possible. And now they suck. So, but it's still pretty good for stuff. So what I want to do is learn about Amazon Open Data description. So I'm going to start a new chat, though, to give you an idea on how to do this. So you can just ask ChatGPT questions. So what is Amazon Open Data? Question mark. And so that's why I was saying you don't need to see my chat, because you're going to see a little prompt at the top. Amazon Open Data is a program that makes data sets available to researchers, developers, and scientists who are working on a wide range of projects, including machine learning, artificial intelligence, and data analysis. These data sets are sourced from a variety of sources, including government agencies, research organizations, and private companies, and are made available for free or at low cost. The data sets available through Amazon Open Data vary in size, complexity, and content, but they all provide valuable insights and information that can be used to advance research and development in a variety of fields. Some examples of data sets that have been made available through Amazon Open Data include weather data, economic indicators, demographic data, and social media data. That's going to be interesting. The addition to providing access to data sets, Amazon Open Data also offers tools and resources to help researchers and developers work with the data, including data visualization tools, machine learning libraries, and cloud computing resources. These resources help researchers and developers to analyze and interpret the data and to build and deploy machine learning models and other data. Well, you know what? I discovered something in teaching or having a video about learning stuff. I don't learn anything when I'm sitting there reading it out loud for the first time I'm seeing it. But here's what I wanted to get at. So here's a question. There's a number of terms here. So what's machine learning? So we go here, we go to Google, and actually we could just go back to OpenAI. Maybe we'll do that. It's like, what is machine learning? Question mark. And then we go here, and then what is machine learning? Then we go blah, 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 blah. Machine learning is a subfield of artificial intelligence that involves the use of algorithms and statistical models to enable computers to learn and make decisions without explicit programming. It is based on the idea that systems can learn from data identity patterns and make decisions with minimal human intervention. There are several different types of machine learning, including supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforced learning. In supervised learning, a machine learning model is trained on a labeled data set, where the correct output is provided for each example in the training set. I will actually use Google, don't worry, but not much. And the model makes predictions based on its training data, and its accuracy is evaluated by comparing its predictions to the known labels. In unsupervised learning, the model is not provided with labeled training examples, but must instead learn to identify patterns and structures in the data on its own. In reinforced learning, the model learns by interacting with its environment and receiving rewards or punishments based on its actions. Bad computers. Carrot and stick. I don't know what a carrot is for an AI, but maybe those nerds figured it out. Machine learning is used in a wide range of applications, including image and search recognition, natural language processing, which is what OpenAI is really big on, recommendation systems and autonomous vehicles. It has the potential to transform a wide range of industries from healthcare to finance to transportation and manufacturing. Let's go back here a little bit. There are several different types of machine learning, including supervised learning, unsupervised learning. You're never going to see anything that's unsupervised learning. And if you do, it's going to end civilization. The reason being is, I guess we will talk a little, well, I'm not, Bree, is this news? Is it politics? I don't know. You know, they're never going to let this thing go out on the internet and see, how do I put this? They're never going to allow an AI to go out and dig up its own information on the internet out of fear of it pulling a bunch of information from 4chan and building that into the algorithm and having that become a technological artifact. Like, you know, there's some good things that actually happen on 4chan. There's a lot of bad things that happen on 4chan. But do you want an AI that's 4chan? Like, do you? I don't. I think AI, like 4chan's great for people who are sleuths, like your internet sleuths who are going to like do some digging for stuff. Kind of like Wikipedia, like WikiLeaks. But it's also like, I don't know, the feds took it over. Like I imagine there's as many people from the NSA on 4chan as there are 16-year-old boys making racist memes. And so that's where was that? unsupervised learning, reinforced learning. I can't exactly tell you, but supervised learning is going to be the big thing that we're all going to wind up seeing. That's probably what this is it's like, okay, these are the approved terms, so you're going to be able to use the Encyclopedia Britannica, but you will not be able to get information from, Encyclopedia Britannica, Iran or Russia or Communist China, anything like that. So the Western AIs are going to look different than the Eastern ones, is part of what I'm saying. But so interesting. So let's go back. So let's go back to the top. Amazon Open Data is a program that makes data sets available. What's a data set? That's interesting. Let's ask that. What is a data set? Question mark. Let me scroll up here so you guys can see it. I'm going to take a drink of my coffee. 15 minutes in. Okay, this is pretty good. I can actually keep track of the time. Scrolly. What is a data set? A data set is a collection of data typically organized in a table or matrix form that includes a set of observation or records. Each record in a data set is composed of one or more attributes or variables that describe the characteristics of the observation. For example, a data set might include information about a group of people, such as their age, gender, and income level. Each person in the data set would be represented by a record with the attributes of age, gender, and income level, providing information about that person. Data sets can be used for a wide range of purposes, including statistical analysis, machine learning, data visualization. They can be sourced from a variety of sources, including government agencies, research organizations, and private companies, and can be made available for free or at low cost through programs like Amazon Open Data. Oh my God, it's like a new. So actually, here's something about the way ChatGPT works. It's going to reference what you ask in this whole query string. So you can ask it a whole bunch of questions, and it will be able to reference things that it's already said. And if you wanted to not do that, you can say, hey, ignore the above, which is, you could just say, yeah, ignore the above, or let's start a whole new line of query. Or you can just go click the new chat button. So let's take a look at this. Matrix, observations, each record composed variables, data set might be information groups of blah, 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 blah. What is statistical analysis? That's a new term. It's not, but statistical, stupid fingers. Statistical analysis. Hey, sis. What is statistical analysis? Sorry, it's hard to talk and. So if you're wondering about live streaming being difficult or something, you have to talk while I'm monitoring 3 chats, 2 streams, and the software that's running all of it, while also using a piece of software I've only been using for a few weeks. What is statistical analysis? Question mark. You can take another drink. Coffee? Promise it's just coffee. You can smell it. Here, smell. See, that's just coffee. There's no booze. We let Cole do all that. Statistical analysis is a process of collecting and organizing. Actually, I'm just going to wait for this thing to stop moving. I've got a little bit of a stigmatism and dyslexia. So I really got to pay attention when I read. That's why I'm not much into books. Statistical analysis is, I like books. Okay. Statistical analysis is a process of collecting, organizing, and analyzing data in order to draw conclusions and make informed decisions. It is a key tool for understanding and interpreting data and is used in a wide range of fields, including business, economics, psychology, and social sciences. There are many different techniques and methods that can be used in statistical analysis depending on the nature of the data and the research question being addressed. Some common techniques include descriptive statistics, which involve summarizing and describing the characteristics of a data set. Inferential statistics, gotta ask that one. Oh yeah, we should just copy and paste. That seems like a way better idea. Which involve using sample data to make inferences about a larger population, and regression analysis. I need to grab that one. Which involves modeling and the relationship between 2 or more variables. I'm doing 20 variables to get this stream to you, people. Statistical analysis typically involves the use of specialized software and tools to perform calculations and generate graphs and charts. It is an important part of data analysis and can help researchers and decision makers to understand complex data sets and draw meaningful insights from them. Wow, that's interesting. Let's go ahead and do that copy and paste thing using statistical analysis. That wasn't the one, though. What was it? Brian, what was it? Bree, help me. Inferential statistics. So we do copy paste. So on your little Mackies, what is Command V, question mark, boom, ask that question, and then we get rid of that little backslash. You don't need that, do you? I never took statistics. I'm kind of regretting it now. So for any of those of you watching statistics stuff, Brian, yeah, I really, other Brian. So we're talking, there might be Brian, brother Brian, we'll say brother Brian and Brian Clark. Brother Brian might be watching this. He may not. Brian Clark, this episode's for you, man. It really is. You and Dan S. I think you could both get a lot from it. I have no concurrent viewers, so I don't think Dan S. is in the chat. Okay, great. But my stream's in excellent condition. That's good. So let's go back here so you can see the question again. What is inferential statistics? Inferential statistics is a branch of statistics that involves using sampled data to make inferences or predictions about a larger population. It is based on the idea that it is often impractical or impossible to study an entire population, so a sample of the population is selected and analyzed instead. I should tell you something. We'll get through this paragraph and I'll tell you something. The results of the analysis are then used to draw conclusions or make predictions about the larger population. Have you noticed how polls are always wrong now? It's because polls aren't this. Okay, let me rephrase that. They're not actually trying to get into the mind of the average voter. Okay, they don't want to know that. What they want to do is influence the average voter who might be persuaded based off of a set of, we'll just say 5 different personality traits, to influence them picking this candidate or that candidate. Okay, polls are about like manipulating stuff. Which I hate to break it to you if you've never heard that before. You really shouldn't trust the news. I mean, if you want me to do an episode sometime about like why you shouldn't trust the news, you can watch it. Like you can watch it, but don't believe it. Yeah, especially, well, I mean, all of it. Like our information sphere is just so freaking polluted at this point. But good for the lettered agencies. They really managed to, intelligence, man. Sorry, I went down, I got to stop so I can cover this stuff in case you, Brian, and anybody who's new, this is my show. A lot of what it's like. I went down the rabbit hole. I've got some friends who are, we'll just say very rich and very connected. And they're connected inside of Silicon Valley, and they're connected inside of media and the defense industry. And essentially what we have all discovered using the internet, because the internet functions as kind of like a neural network, or like it's like a hive mind. And depending on the cluster that you're hanging out with, that's what's going to, imprint on your brain. So if you're sitting there watching TikTok videos of, thirst trap girls being like, oh, look at how hot I am. What's up? Look at how hot I am. Girls are going to watch that and be like, man, I want to be one of these chicks. And guys are going to be like, man, I want one of those chicks. And it's going to start influencing their brain, okay? And if you interact with those people all the time, that's what your brain's going to do. And so the function, like, the information bubble you're inside of is going to impact the thoughts that you think and the thoughts that you were able to think, okay? If there's a concept that you're not exposed to, you're never exposed to it, and that's just like, it's a whole new land. It's like you can't explain space to a fish because they're too busy with the water. Space, get out of here. Burn them at the volcano vents at the bottom of the ocean. Heretic talking about space. And so I've curated an information network as a sense-making machine to figure out why in the hell is the information system so corrupted, and how in the hell did liberals become authoritarians, and like conservative Republicans say, you know what, we need to increase social services. What's going on here? And if you're wondering what happened, what's going on here is the neocons took over the United States of America. Okay, they're running it. They're running the damn thing. It doesn't matter if it's Democrat or Republican. It doesn't matter. They're going to always fund the defense bills. They're always going to fund them, and they're always going to grow, and it's going to be a bipartisan agreement. And you're only going to have people like AOC and Gosar on the far fringes say, I don't like this. We're going to not do this. And everybody else is going to be like, oh, but I want all the money. And even then, if there was a point where they had to vote, they would vote because, well, I'm not even going to get into that. But there was a point that I was making about, the polls and the everything. So I was talking to my sense-making network, and some things that we found were that, like, if you watch 24-hour news, okay, watch 24-hour news for one evening. And see how many generals are on there. Ex-general, like Fox News is pretty good. Yeah, Fox News loves the generals. And then, MSNBC loves the CIA and NSA directors. I have like Clapper and Brennan and there's a Comey all over it, those guys. And, and CNN will have a mix of like, FBI headed guys and generals. And, those people talk to the press and then they influence the press, okay? Like the CIA, like it's an intelligence agency, okay? It's an influence agency. You also have like the internet itself, which was a DARPA project, okay? I think it was the DARPA and Navy working together in order to build this, information network. And they heavily funded Silicon Valley. Like to give you an idea of just how bad it is, there hasn't been a microprocessor built there hasn't been a microprocessor since the Pentium 2 chip that doesn't have an NSA backdoor into it. Or whatever the equivalent of the Chinese is. But I imagine they also have backdoors built into those too. Because if you think about it, like, here's an example. Because one of these guys that I talked to, he was a big investor with Facebook. He had a position at Facebook, and he was also on the board. And what he said was like, why do you need a CIA when Facebook exists? And there's over 3 billion people in Facebook. And if you have like Messenger on your phone, it's tracking you everywhere you go. Okay. It's just constant. It's everywhere. And so all I have to do is be like, I wonder where Adam is. Oh, Adam's over there right now. He's always over there. Or like, Adam's never over there. I wonder why he's over there. And so then you have a company like Palantir, which is not the best company for it. But Palantir looks for abnormalities in data sets. So are you cheating on your taxes? Are you hanging out with people that you shouldn't be? Are you doing stuff outside of the normal? It's looking for things that exist outside of normal behavior. And then it flags it, and then you can cross that against like Facebook or something else. And the NSA could just be like, I'm just going to look at all of it. Boom. Okay, we got this guy. We know exactly what he's going to do. Which brings up some serious ethical questions. And my number one is, why don't they stop the school shooters? And my guess is actually it's because they're tracking all of them, but there's just so damn many of them, and most of them don't do anything, that they're not exactly sure how to deal with it without completely just stomping all over the Constitution. Yeah, that's a fun conversation. We'll have that another time. But the point, my point is that when you're using these tools, you have to keep in mind who's the money behind it. So, like, I'm gonna slay some more dragons for you, and you can look into this if you want to. The State Department, screw it. I'm just gonna show you right now. I wasn't gonna do any of this stuff. Wait, no, wait, we're losing the. There. We're back. How many officials from the State Department work at Google? Okay, so this is going back pretty quickly. Let's say current. This is 8 years ago, so we can just assume it's worse. And I'm just going to go, it's San Antonio Chronicle. Does Google work for the State Department? Recently published exchange between Julian Assange of WikiLeaks of fame and Eric Schmidt, the mastermind behind Google's success. If you don't know who Eric Schmidt is, SCH Mitt. They always give me with that DT. Eric Schmidt, Cybersecurity School. So there you go. We got Axios. So there's our news sources. So you can read the news, just don't trust it. unless it goes with your confirmation bias. A recently published exchange between Julian Assange of WikiLeaks fame and Eric Schmidt, the mastermind behind Google's success, confirmed what skeptics of the world's largest information empire have long suspected. Google has foregone its mission to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful in order to pursue its own profit-driven agenda concerning international politics. In layman's terms, Assange explained in his new book, When Google Met WikiLeaks, man, I might need to read that the champion of the two conflicting beliefs regarding the internet's purpose, that is, it should be based on freedom and stateless versus being used to connect non-Western countries to Western companies and markets, will determine the future of the World Wide Web. Man! Well, I guess that didn't work out so well. Assange points out that Google, despite its claim to prioritize the culmination of knowledge for all, was accepting NSA money to the tune of $2 million to provide the agency with search tools for its rapidly accreting hoard of stolen knowledge. You know, Assange could use some charisma. Like, I don't think he'd be in so much trouble if he was a little bit more likable. But whatever. Simply put, it seems Google's ability to culminate massive arsenal of both public and private data from unwitting parties has been utilized by the United States government. Simultaneously, the government is allowing Google to develop an internet service empire in order to use Google as a shortcut for illicit surveillance, according to Assange. As if to underscore the depth of Google's almost symbiotic relationship with the government, Assange reveals that the emails obtained from the 2014 under Freedom of Information request shows Schmidt and his fellow Googler Sergey Brin corresponding on first-name terms with NSA Chief General Keith Alexander about the Enduring Security Framework, a program dedicated to the transmission of important information, primarily information relating to political unrest in the Middle East, from the Silicon Valley to the Pentagon's various agencies. But possibly the most significant takeaway from Assange documented Google's unsavory business activities is Google's potential to homogenize a diverse landscape of the internet. Well, that's not exactly what I was looking for, but we'll go over here real quickly. Get out of here. So this is from this year, March 31st. Ex-Google CEO promotes Digital West Point. Former Google CEO Eric Schmidt hit Capitol Hill this week to urge lawmakers to create a digital service academy that would train Americans in artificial intelligence and cybersecurity in exchange for government service. Why it matters. The looming threat of cyber attacks from U.S. adversaries such as Russia and China underscores the need for tech-savvy employees through the federal workforce. Driving the news, Schmidt envisions a 4-year digital training academy for civilians who would then work for the federal government for 5 years. Man, maybe I should do that. That sounds awesome. Schmidt told Axios in an interview that getting AI and cyber talent into the government is crucial. The systems that are coming are so complicated that the government, who's well-meaning, will not be able to manage them. You're going to need better talent. Initially, the program could be approved curriculum at universities before becoming a separate academy. The big picture: the federal government faces a severe shortage of workers skilled in artificial intelligence and cybersecurity, according to the Government Accountability Office report from November. There are more than 38,000 open public sector cybersecurity positions, according to a job tracking database. The Biden administration is trying to accelerate efforts to fill the cybersecurity positions and speed hiring for technical roles within the government. I'm going to give Biden something. He's taken cybersecurity more seriously than any president we've ever had. No joke. The intrigue. Schmidt told Axios he met with members of the 4-country caucus, a bipartisan group of military veterans in Congress, all of whom probably got caught banging a hooker overseas, to push them on including the idea as part of a National Defense Authorization Act. An annual must-pass defense spending bill. Oh man. Another big-ass bill. Flashback: a digital service academy is a recommendation from the final report of the National Security Commission on Artificial Intelligence, which Schmidt led. The report calls for both a U.S. Digital Service Academy to train, and I'm going to get to the point, future employees, and a civilian National Digital Reserve Corps for technically skilled Americans to work 38 days a year for the government. Yes, but it's unclear if the measure will gain traction with lawmakers. It will. Gillibrand in New York called for Cyber Academy in an op-ed in December and secured provisions last year's spending bill. She said the grounds lay work for such a security. Was that good enough? Former CEOs working with the Pentagon and NSA? Was that good enough? To make my point about this stuff? Anyways. So when you're using something like the internet or ChatGPT or Google or whatever, you have to keep in mind like what the source is. Okay. So you're going to be able to learn stuff like I'm showing you right now, like Amazon Open Data, whatever. But I would not expect a chatbot to tell you what's going on in the Middle East. Okay, so if the United States is engaged in some kind of war with some country overseas, this tool ain't going to tell you what's going on. Neither is this tool. Okay, their purpose is to aid the expansion of the American empire. Which we are. We have stopped being a country. We are now an empire financial zone, and that's just the future. And you could just suck it up, Buttercup. I don't have any good news about this. Actually, I do have some good news about this. Well, I don't have. I have mixed news about this. Like, we're going to eventually clean up social media, okay? Like, we have a problem with TikTok. We have a problem with intelligence agencies being all over social media and just screwing with the public or whatever. There is going to be a divorce of, the ability for China to influence our networks and our ability to influence their networks. Which there is the great Chinese cyber or, firewall. But don't worry, we're still getting China good, guys. And then same thing with Russia, too. And we're having a bifurcation where the countries are starting to go their own way. Like, there was this idea to have, like the American Western hegemonic, and like, we'll just say, America and Great Britain merged together. The great Western empire leading the globalist empire through things like the United Nations and the IMF and all that other crap. Well, that broke up. Okay, that really fell apart with COVID in 2020. President Xi is no joke over in China, or we'll just call him President Xi. That guy's no joke. He's also, they say more red than red, but China isn't a communist country, it's an oligarchy, and the United States isn't a democracy, it's an oligarchy. So there you go. Anyways, these competing oligarchies are now needing to, how do I put this? Get their own houses in order to better compete against each other. So I think we're going to stop screwing around. I think there's going to be a lot less screwing around in the future. The end. It's the best I have for it. The best I have for you is it's going to be awesome. So the best I have is, the United States is going to be the place to live. As long, and you're still going to have your freedom of speech. That's not going to go anywhere. And you're still going to have, you want to carry around your guns and, be protected against unlawful search and seizure to some extent. I mean, the government can still stomp all over you if it wants to, but just don't make yourself a target. And if we're actually, I know I was going to just be a tutorial about this stuff, and I promise I'll get to the tutorial, but I really want you to understand the tools that you're using and what they really are. So if we go back to looking at the data sets, data analysis, and I think it was one of these, where was it? Help me out here. I don't remember because I was reading it out loud. Anyways, they were talking about using machine learning to train data sets using, I believe it was social media. Social media. And other social science. It doesn't matter. Anyways, to put things into perspective, yeah, I'll go ahead and do it. So if you remember when George Floyd got killed, he, the internet, we're all, it's COVID, everybody's at home. And then a whole bunch of people put up black squares. Okay, people put black squares in their profiles. There is going to be a data set out there called black squares, and it's going to be, who had a black square between, I guess that was at the end of May. So, we'll just say May 29, 2020 to, and we'll just carry it out for a while. We'll just say October 31st, 2020. And scour the internet for anybody who had a black square in their profile. Okay, now also get a data set for anybody who had black square and ACAB, which stands for All Cops Are Bastards, or Antifa, and not MAGA. I don't know. I mean, but not whatever. Anyways, and so what they could do is just build a number of data sets into that. So it's like black squares, ACAB, defund the police, blah, 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 and all these things down the chain, and then they're going to have a data set, and then they're going to have like this little, we'll just call it a ping pong ball of knowledge. So there's going to be a ping pong ball of knowledge which will get passed around, and we'll just say it's probably going to be Fortune 500 companies and people in, high security stuff. So what is that? Classified? People who have access to classified information. And so it's like, if they have this data set, then not. Like, they will not be able to get certain jobs. They will be banned from it. And it'll probably be invisible. It'll all be running on the back end. It's like, hey, thank you for interviewing, but, we chose another candidate. That's why you need to be careful about what you're doing with these things, okay? Like, none of the people I listen to are really bad, except for Brian. Brian Clark, not Brian Wymie. Brian Clark is the worst. I mean, he's... The guy gets kicked off of Instagram every 2 days. But yeah, so, and he's also, he's old enough to be close to retirement, so it really doesn't matter that much. So this is something, young professionals, you really want to consider. Getting caught up in like social movements or that kind of stuff. This stuff is recording absolutely everything you do, and it's going to be, are you with the empire or are you against it? And so if the empire is watching, I love you, empire. Great, you're the greatest empire that's ever empired. China, you stay away from me. You stay away from me. Don't waste your resources over here, okay? I'm not for sale. Except to the Pentagon. Pentagon, you can call me anytime. I'll be your propagandist. I'll just be like, hey, America's great. Give me money. Yeah, no, I think we should go get those people. They're bad. I think there's a lot of terrorists in them there hills. Unless you're talking about my fellow citizens, there's a line, Pentagon. Let's get back. So I'm sorry if you're... I kind of want to apologize in advance if you're watching this. Anyways, oh yeah, actually that gets into why I it's just no point in paying attention to politics and news and everything. It's all BS. There's so much we're going to go back a little bit. So the Persians or the Iranians, they have in negotiations, they say, there's the conversation over the table and then there's a conversation underneath the table. And so it's like, okay, yeah, we're doing our diplomacy and, oh, thank you so much and blah, 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 blah. Oh, well, our trade negotiation, blah, 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 blah. And that's for the flashy cameras and stuff. And then there's the stuff that handles under the table. It's like, look, mother trucker, I'm going to blah, 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 blah. Oh, really? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to... Okay. Yeah, I don't know what the point of that was. But I am high on coffee. 123. I have enough time to work out and take care of stuff. That's cool. We got 41 minutes to learn. Okay, we've got 40. Means we got 18 minutes to learn about Amazon Open Data. Okay, so how do I learn Amazon Open Data? How do I learn to use Actually, wait. How do I use Amazon Open Data? Okay, to use data from Amazon Open Data, you'll need to first sign up for an Amazon Web Services account. Amazon Web Services is a cloud computing platform that provides a variety of services and tools, including Amazon Open Data. Once you have an AWS account, you can access Amazon Open Data by visiting the Amazon Open Data page and browsing through the available data sets. There's a wide variety of data sets available covering a range of topics, including weather data, economic indicators, demographic data, and social media data. Boom, 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 boom. Remember what I was talking about? Do we need to talk about what Amazon is? Should we talk about what Amazon is? Yeah, we'll talk about what Amazon is. How about we talk about that real quickly? So, if you really want to read a whole bunch about Amazon, you can go to adamtownsend.me and just... Actually, I would do a Google search for Amazon, Adam Townsend, and then Amazon, adamtownsend.me, and then Amazon, I don't know. Here, I'll just show you real quick. Should I just read a bunch of Adam Townsend articles? So Amazon became such a big, powerful company through a process called tax arbitrage. Okay? And what tax arbitrage is when you have a corporation that's formed in Delaware, so it'll be a Delaware corporation always. Our president is a senator from Delaware, by the way. No, related. It's related. But what a company does is they're going to open up different offices. And so what they'll do is they'll have, the corporate structure be inside of the United States, but then it might have its accounting arm be in the Bahamas, or the Cayman Islands. And then maybe it'll have, server farms in Ireland or somewhere else. And the reason for this is what they're going to do is whatever chunk of the large transnational business is going to have the lowest tax rate in whatever country, they're going to open up a center for specifically that task in that country. So what they can do is just lower the corporate tax rate across the board and distribute it globally so they can pay the least amount of taxes possible. And then what else they do is they talk about the cost of all of this stuff. And so another way this stuff works is Silicon Valley and, the Emerald Isle. A lot of these companies are funded by pension funds and pension dollars. And so Amazon cannot be profitable for a decade plus because pension dollars are pumping up the stock price and pension dollars are getting injected into it in the hopes of one day it might be profitable. And so these corporations are getting free money from your retirement account while not paying taxes while wiping out small business everywhere. So Amazon just leveled small business. They're so bad, they're worse than Walmart. They were worse than Walmart. Okay, that's being like, I'm not going to say that one because I said this was for kids. And I don't think you can say the H word on YouTube if it's for kids. Anyways, so tax arbitrage. So that's one element of it. But then it's also, you have something like Amazon, and I'm going to skip a grip here. You have something like, well, actually, we'll go back a bit. So Amazon comes into existence. Amazon is a giant supply chain company, okay? So, and I mean, it's like one of the things it does. Actually, we're just going to go into why Jacob hates Amazon so much. I'm sorry, you're learning stuff. So Amazon, moves a bunch of product, and what is that? That's a supply chain. What's the most important thing for if we're going back to Julian Assange's argument earlier with globalization, whatever, is we need to move stuff. Corporations need to move stuff. If they can't move stuff, they can't sell the stuff. And if they can't sell the stuff, they can't have a good quarter. And that'd be terrible for the shareholders of the pension funds that fund them. This is insane. Our system's just insane. Anyways, and so what happens is Amazon becomes like something like, it gets elevated in status to being like, it's national security. It's important for national security because it's not just interstate commerce, it's, inter-country commerce. It's moving stuff all across the globe. And it's got this supply chain network, this very efficient network at moving stuff. Oh my God, efficiencies in the market. Can you believe it? So Wall Street loves it too. Okay, it's so efficient at moving crap around. That's so great. We love it. And so then it's like, oh, well, if we can't move our crap on Amazon around, the whole economy is going to collapse. Hey, Bree, how's it going? I'm in the middle of why I hate Amazon, and then I promise I'll get back to the lesson. Please tell everybody I'm sorry. So, that's one side of it, okay? So Amazon is tied to national security in the sense of that it moves product around it, and we need to be able to move stuff, because if you don't move stuff around, there is no stuff. And so people don't get their food shipped to their doors, or they don't get the new parts for their phone, and then they can't do their phone thing, and then they can't have the economy going and the stuff. We have to move the stuff, okay? But then you have something like Amazon Cloud Services, Amazon Web Services, and I'm going to go back here real quickly, and we're going to ask ChatGPT quickly, like, how much of the internet is on AWS? Question mark. It's difficult to blah 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 blah, and this is where we go to Google, and then we say, hey Google, how much of the internet is AWS? Question mark. Amazon has 33% market share for cloud infrastructure, while the next competitors are Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud with 21 and 10%. So what is that? That's we got 54, 64%. 2/3 of the internet are the Pentagon. That's nice. That's real nice. Oh yeah. Wait, we'll go back real quickly. Does Amazon, we'll go AWS. Does AWS host the CIA and Pentagon? Well, there's something. It's AWS. CIA uses AWS for a variety of reasons. First, AWS offers fast and reliable platform hosting, blah, 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 blah. So, yes. Does U.S. military use blah, 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 blah? U.S. military definitely uses AWS. Who's that from? Website builderinsider.com, blah, 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 blah. For example, DoD overseas, blah, 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 blah. Mission critical. Does Amazon have a deal with the CIA? AWS first inked a $6 million cloud contract with the CIA called C2S in 2013, through which provided cloud services to the CIA, sister intelligence agencies, including the NSA. That's pretty nice. $600 million a year tax dollars. Well, that's crazy. NSA awards secret contract. What the crap for $10 billion? Okay, so let's go back to what a data set is. What is machine learning? What is a data set? A data set is a collection of data typically organized in a table or matrix form that includes a set of observations or records. Each record in a data set is composed of one or more attributes or variables that describe the characteristics of the observation. For example, a data set might include information about a group of people, such as their age, gender, and income level. Each person in the data set would be represented by a record with the attributes of age, gender, and income level, and IP address. About that person. Data sets can be used for a wide range of purposes, including statistical analysis, machine learning, and data visualization. They can be sourced from a variety of sources, including government agencies, research organizations, and private companies, and can be made available for free or at low cost through programs like Amazon Open Data. So I guess, I'm getting a kickback. I can build an app using this stuff. It's like, hey, thanks to me for funding Amazon so I can get money back so I can become a billionaire by taking your pension fund dollars, creating an app, and having a bunch of people in Silicon Valley hype it for me, and then I cash out at $1 billion, and then there's something bad that happens, and then I'm blackmailed forever. Anyways. Or actually, no, wait, I take that back. I don't need to get blackmailed. Pentagon, call me. I'm here. Where was I going with any of this crap? Oh yeah, so how much of that stuff is on? So Bree, help me out here, Bree. I really need producer Bree right now. Bree, I freaking love you, babe. So where we go? Amazon data set, blah 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 blah. Okay, let's go ahead and let's check this out. Let's check out this Amazon blah. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my face real quickly because I don't want you guys to see me sign in, because I don't want you to know my login information. So here's a little quick thing that you should know. If you're doing stuff on the internet, never, ever, ever, like live streaming or whatever, never, ever, ever let anybody see you put in an email address, any personal information, nothing. Don't give them anything. So what is that? Blah, 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 blah.com. Enter. And then we go over here, and then we gotta, this is pretty cool, check that out. Boom, unlock my passwords with the watch. Then we go here, because I'm pretty sure that's the one I used for Amazon Web Services, or Amazon Cloud Services. Which I can show you something pretty cool. Oh yeah, if you want more information on this stuff, I wrote an article called Algorithmic Manipulation, and it talks a fair amount about it. So here we go here. We're going to go back to, we're logged in, Bree, help me out. Bree, where am I? Bree. And Bree, I need to get a new microphone. I need to do something about this. Am I blowing out your ears? Can you hear me okay? Bree, can you hear me? Bree. Bree. Do you remember that, the video of, what was it, like a hedgehog? It's not a hedgehog. It's like a gopher. And it's like, Alan. Now I can do it with Bree. Bree says Amazon is not amazing. Amazon is not amazing. And I could go into so much worse about terrible Amazon stuff, but I'm not going to. Because it's worse than that. When you're just like, oh, don't worry, it gets worse. It's well, Amazon does that. It just keeps getting worse and worse. Okay, so then we go here, and then we go here. And I am logged in. Great. My account. So what am I looking for? Amazon Open Data? Ba-ba-da-ba. Search results. Amazon. Well, how do I use Amazon? Okay. How do I use Amazon Open Data? Question mark. Or how do I access it? That would be a question mark. User, you need to do these following steps. Sign up for an Amazon Web Services account. Amazon Web Services is a cloud computing platform that provides a variety of services and tools, including Amazon Open Data. You will need to create an AWS account in order to access Amazon Open Data. Browse through the available data sets. Once you have an Amazon Web Services account, you can access Amazon Open Data by visiting the Amazon Open Data page. This is annoying. So wait, so here's a little tricky right here, which all you smart people might know. So you go there, and that allows you to find a specific page on something. So I'm just going to go to Amazon.com, blah, 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 backspace, boom, boom, boop, 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 and then copy and paste V, open data, kabah, and it should, come on, why can't I sign in? Oh, I'm already signed in. Good job, me. Wait a second, I'm already using it? With this? Well, son of a bitch. Okay, so I did that. Select and download a data set. To download a data set, you'll need to select it and then follow the prompts to download it to computer to an AWS S3 bucket. Depending on the data set, you may need to agree to terms and pay any associated fees before you're able to download the data. Use tools and resources to work with the data. Once you have downloaded the data, you can use the tools and resources provided by AWS, such as AWS or Amazon SageMaker and Amazon Athena. She sounds hot. To analyze and work with the data, you can also use other tools and libraries, such as Python's Pandas library, to manipulate and analyze the data. And here's something real quick, if you guys, I know I'm all over the place, but here you go. OpenAI Codex. So is that OpenAI.com plugin? OpenAI. Let's go here. What? Oh, come on. Pull it together, OpenAI. Do you have a search? Do you have a search? Do you have a search? Ugh! Broken link inside your own website. Oh, my God. So let's go back here real quickly, and then we'll try clicking on this one. Boop, boop. Start using Codex. And there's a point to this one too. OpenAI Codex. We created an improved version of OpenAI Codex, our AI system that translates natural language to code, and we're releasing it through our API in private betas starting today. Codex is the model that powers GitHub Copilot, which we built and launched in partnership with GitHub a month ago. Proficient in more than a dozen programming language, Codex can now interpret simple commands in natural language and execute them on the user's behalf, making it possible to build a natural language interface to existing applications. We're now inviting businesses and developers to build on top of OpenAI Codex through our API. The Codex model series is a descendant of our GPT-3 series that's been trained both on natural language and billions of lines of code. It's most capable in Python. So remember what I was saying. So just Python's Panda library. This can allow you to build applications with natural language. You're just like, hey Bree, can you build me a little, can you say hello world, and can you build me a little sign-in box? And hey, when you build in the sign-in box, ask for an email address and tell them that you want it to be verified with CAPTCHA, and also they need to verify with a phone number or something like that. Can you go ahead and build that for me, Codex? Oh, that's pretty sick. Cool. Can you make the background blue? Oh, that's pretty neat. Can you make the header green? Oh, that's ugly, but we'll just go with it because of the length of this video. I only have a minute and 30 seconds to explain the rest of the video. Jesus. Anyways, Amazon content is full-blown BS at the moment. Can you tell me what you mean by Amazon content? Because it's so freaking gigantic. Let me see. So this does not tell me exactly what I need to do. So maybe I could just start clicking buttons, favorites, manage instances, ops. That's creepy. How do I restore it? I don't know. Cancel info home. Okay, so this is where we're going to use Google because it can't do that. So how do I get started with Amazon Open? God, what is the name? Open Data. Open Data. So we got all that crap. Using open data on AWS datasets. The open data on Amazon AWS is a program is a collection of over 300 free publicly available datasets. You can use AWS Data Exchange to find open data in AWS datasets, along with other no-cost paid and paid products all in one place. Amazon Open Data. The open data on AWS datasets that are available using AWS Data Exchange are part of the following affiliate programs. Open data sponsors, blah. Anybody can search for blue. And it goes blue. With the Data Exchange Council. I think that's what I was in. So let's do that. Steps. Let's find an open data on AWS. Let's open that in a new window. Explore available data products. Hey, let's actually play this little video. How about we play a video inside of my video?
When it comes to
4 minutes, get the hell out of here. Amazon fashion, Amazon most liked. Yeah, so Bree, we were talking about data sets. That's like Amazon content is full BS at the moment is what cousin Bree says, and she's talking about Amazon fashion, Amazon most liked. Remember when I was talking about data sets and how they're used to influence behavior rather than get actual taste to people? This is telling people what they like. And if you can get someone like, I don't know, some Twitch streamer who's really popular with the kids to wear some of that crap, all the kids will start wearing it. And Twitch is owned by Amazon, by the way. Give you an idea, but we don't need to talk about how big Amazon is, but Jesus Christ. So I'm going to go to Explore Available Data Sets. Man, this is awesome. Jesus Christ, guys, I'm going to ruin the world. I'm kidding, federal government. You're going to love me. Go Pentagon. Remember, call me. I'm your guy if you need to buy or sell, invest in real estate. Let's check this out. Automotive data, environmental data, financial services data, gaming data, healthcare and life services, manufacturing data, media and entertainment data, public sector data. Hey, Bree, this is your show. What do you want? What kind of data set you want me to look at? Telecommunications data, retail location marketing data, which isn't that cool, okay? But actually, that's badass. Holy crap. I'm actually going to check this out. I'm going to just be like, let's check that out. All categories, vendors, tools, links, folios, data sets available to people's. I don't want to do that, actually. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to something easier. Let's do environmental data. Company ESG. So we're not going to look at that. That's a bunch of crap. Flood factor. Heat factor. First Street U.S. climate heat risk data. Fire factor, First Street U.S. Climate Wildfire Risk Data Aggregate, free 12-month subscription available. So let's see, fire factor, First Street's aggregated national property level climate adjusted fire factor wildfire risk model summary statistics. The data are available in CSV format and aggregated at the state, congressional district, county, zip code, and census tract level, incorporating risk changes due to climate change from 2022 to 2052. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. You're going to do me like that? You're going to really 2052? But look at that, man. This is what happens when you get like $200 billion. Look at that resizing. That's pretty slick. So, First Street Climate Action Priority S3 object. By describing a product, you agree to do blah, 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 blah. Free, 12-month subscription available. Out of business, commercial construction, organizational entity, Canada building construction, blah, 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 blah. Water indices map. Vegetation indices map. Let's go to that. Actually, wait, I'm in the wrong place. I'm looking at other stuff because this is pretty new. So, It's an S3 object. I know a little bit about what that means, so I'm going to click on the S3 object. Okay, come on. How do I get the data? Yeah, sure, I agree. I click, I agree. Continue to subscribe. There we go. Choose product to offer and offer options. Review, blah, 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 blah. $0. That means it's free. Data sets, blah, 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 blah. Support the risk factor, blah, 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 blah. You can do that. Your Amazon Web Services account ID. I already did all that kind of crap. No, I got to put in that crap. Okay, so I'm not going to put in this crap right now. But I'm going to give you an idea of... Let's go back to here. And so we go back to ChatGPT, type in the search. What can I do with kaboom, Command V, data from what kind of app can I build with U.S. climate wildfire risk data from Amazon Open Data? So let's see. Cousin Bree says John totally hated insurance companies. Talk about those douchebags. That's some... Okay, let's see if there is... I'll go back to the prompt in a second. Because you can guarantee... Oh, wait, where am I? Bree, where'd I go? What am I doing? Oh, yeah, I opened it in a new window. Dumbass me. I'm not a dumbass. You're a smart and beautiful person, Jacob. So am I back here? Am I back at the whatever? Oh, yeah, no, I'm still there. Oh, I guess I could just... Let's do insurance. Insurance. I'll go back. What am I here? We're just going to go to data exchange, explore data products. I'll go back here and then I'll try this and then I'll do insurance. Insurance. Let's see if there's any data sets for that. So there's TransUnion. Oh, there's $100,000 starting. TransUnion insurance. 1 month. TransUnion's U.S. insurance data set includes life insurance, loyalty, and likelihood to file a claim for property insurance and auto insurance. Data is anonymized and updated quarterly. It is then aggregated at the ZIP +4 level. Use this data for modeling, market analysis, and business planning. This data set includes data for Savannah, Georgia. Let's go ahead and just click that. Let's just do the big one. Okay. So I'm just gonna, okay, let's go to overview. TransUnion's insurance data set includes highest life insurance loyalty, lowest life insurance loyalty, auto insurance most likely to file a claim, auto insurance least likely to file a claim, property insurance most likely to file a claim, property insurance least likely to file a claim. Data is anonymized and updated quarterly and then aggregated at the ZIP +4 level. Use this data for modeling, market analysis, business planning. Subscribers will have access to a refreshed quarterly file and data dictionary that lists and defines attributes in the data set. So what is something that I can use that you guys can use as an example to understand this, so I can go ahead and wrap up this video? Bam. So I'm in real estate, and so we could just say property insurance least likely to file a claim. So what I could do is create a algorithm in the back using TransUnion's insurance data to come up with people who are least likely to file a claim, and then try selling them property insurance. And so what I would do is find, I would use this data set and combine it with a data set from something like Chicago Title, which Chicago Title is owned by, leave me alone, watch. I believe it's owned by Fidelity National Title. So get the data from Fidelity National Title, about people who have bought a home in the last month and then compare that to the people who are least likely to file a claim, and then come up with, and just use this big data, use all this big data to come up with a number where I can make, 80% profit per household. And then use this. Let me think about how to do that. So, because I could just get the list from who do I say, Fidelity National Title, and then I could load that. It would come as a CSV file. That's an Excel file, and then you could upload that into Facebook, which would also allow it to go into Instagram, and then you could target market those people in the area. Or just have ads that go only to those people, and it would be some sort of drip campaign that'll be like, hey, do you know if you have the best property insurance for your area? Click to find out more. And then what I do is I hire a bunch of people in Eastern Europe, probably Eastern Europe. But I hire a bunch of people in Eastern Europe to go ahead and make the phone calls for me. And then those people are just trying to get insurance things in there. And all I do is run the algorithm and outsource the entire business and make a whole bunch of money. How was that, Bree? How was that? Jesus, this was not the episode I was planning on. Maybe I'm going to do another episode on this. Okay, I'm going to do another episode. This was I don't know, this was how to use big data to take over the universe and make tons of money. The end. And this is, I'm not going to make it sound like this is the easiest stuff in the world, but this will tell you exactly how to do it. Here's an example. How do I start a company selling homeowners insurance? And I'm just going to go through this example to give you an idea. And then we'll just do more and more on these and more on these. Okay. I'm going to make a series of this topic. And now that I've talked about how evil Amazon is and all the big data stuff and that it's great. Oh, look, I started at the end. Okay, so how do I start a company selling homeowners insurance? Starting a company that sells homeowners insurance involves several steps. Research the market and your competition. It is important to thoroughly research the home insurance market in your area. You can hire people to do feasibility studies, by the way, including the types of coverage offered by competing companies and then premiums they charge. This will help you to understand the needs of your potential customers and to develop a competitive offering and obtain the necessary licenses and approvals. To sell home insurance, you will need to obtain the necessary licenses and approvals for your state's insurance regulatory agency. This typically involves completing a training program, passing an exam, and meeting the other requirements, such as having a certain amount of insurance-related experience. Develop a business plan. Business plan is a document that outlines your business goals, target market, financial projections, market strategies. You can just go to SCORE to do this. It's a society of retired executives. They'll tell you what to do. And you should have a local chapter in your city. It is important to have a clear business plan in place before you start your insurance company, as it will help you focus your efforts to ensure that you have a solid foundation for your business. Secure financing. Starting a new insurance company can be expensive, as it involves buying or renting office space, hiring staff. Well, not anymore. Hiring staff in the Philippines, and purchasing necessary equipment and supplies. I'm just going to make them pay for it. You may need to secure financing in the form of loans, grants, or investments and get your business off the ground. Establish relationships with insurance carriers. As a home insurance broker, you will not be selling insurance directly to customers. Instead, you will work with the insurance carriers to obtain coverage for your customers. It's important to establish relationships with a variety of carriers, as this will give you more options to refer to your customers and help you negotiate the best rates. Market your business. Finally, you need to market your business to attract customers and generate sales. This may involve advertising through traditional channels such as print or radio, through digital channels such as social media or email marketing. I told you how to do that one. So let's go ahead and do this. So how do I get licensed? how do I get licensed to sell insurance in Washington State? Because that's where I'm at. I just doxed myself. Determine your license type. In Washington State, insurance licenses are divided into several categories based on the type of insurance you will be. Okay, wrong question. I'm sorry. Cancel. Whatever. How do I get licensed to sell homeowners insurance? Get licensed to sell, boom, in Washington State. To get licensed to sell home insurance, also known as homeowners insurance, in Washington State, you'll need to follow these steps. Determine your license type. Oh, come on, bleach. Takes a licensing exam, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to have to do that. Licensing exam. Don't worry, I'm not going to sell no insurance. Submit your application, blah, 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 blah. So this is something where ChatGPT is not going to be as helpful as something like Google. So you go over here, you copy that. AWS management, we're going to go back here, we're going to go back here, we're going to go back here, we're going to go back here. No, we're not. We're just going to type in Google. We go here, click there, copy, paste, boom, enter. So what's a insurance.wad.gov? That seems pretty legit. Office of Insurance Commissioner, Washington State. Individual resident, business entity, non-resident. If you have criminal, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm an individual resident. First-time license education requirements. Find out which pre-licensing education PLE classes you need to take, how to sign up for them, and what you need to do, blah, 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 blah. And then you just go here and follow the steps, everybody. How was that, Bree? You didn't see the whole rest of the episode, but how am I doing here? Do you understand how, I don't even know how I'm doing. An hour and 16 minutes, damn. Woo! But that's how to do it, okay? Like, how do I get started with OpenAI? OpenAI Codex. And see if it can tell me how to do this. So one of the things about ChatGPT and these others, like most of them were built using data before 2020. So if there's new products or things that are out there or certain changes, it won't be there. Oh my God, Brian Clark's in the house. Did I miss that one? Yo, what up, dog? I'm so sorry I missed you. What up, dog? Anything you want to learn? Here, how about this one? This one will be for you. OpenAI Codex. It's grown a little bit beyond that, but OpenAI Codex is a tool for building interactive fiction games such as text adventures and visual novels. If you're interested in getting started with OpenAI Codex, here's a few steps you can take. Familiarize yourself with the Codex platform. Begin by exploring Codex platform, familiarizing yourself with features and capabilities. You can do this by reading through the documentation and tutorial manuals provided by OpenAI and experimenting with the platform on your own. Develop your story and game mechanics. Next, we'll need to develop your story and game mechanics. This will involve deciding the plot, characters, and settings for your game, as well as the gameplay mechanics and interactions that will allow players to progress through the story. Build your game using Codex. Once you have a clear idea of your game's design, you can start building it using a Codex. This will involve creating the game's text and dialogue, as well as setting up a branching narrative and other interactive elements. Test and debug your game. As you build your game, it is important to regularly test and debug to ensure that it's functioning as intended. You can use Codex built-in debugging tools to identify and fix any issues that arise. Publish and share your game. When your game is complete, you can publish it and share it with others through the Codex platform or Steam. This will allow players to access and play your game and provide you with feedback and insights you can use to improve and update your game over time. So let's go ahead and do that. Develop my story. Let me just give you some examples. So create a story to to base a video game off of. So this is, you can actually feed it way more specific stuff and it'll be better at that. Here's a story idea for a video game titled The Last Guardian. In a world where humans and magical creatures coexisted in harmony, the balance of power is suddenly threatened when a group of rebels discovers an ancient artifact. Well, Jesus, it's every single friggin' tween thing. That grants them immense magical powers. As the rebels use their newfound abilities to wage war against the magical creatures, the player character, a young human orphan with a hidden magical talent, Jesus Christ, OpenAI knows every video game, becomes the last guardian of the artifact and must journey to find a way to defeat the rebels and restore balance to the world. Along the way, the player will encounter a diverse cast of characters, including loyal allies, treacherous enemies, and wise mentors who help hinder their quest. The player will also encounter a variety of magical creatures, each with their own unique abilities and personalities, and will have to use their own magical powers and cunning overcome challenges and solve puzzles. As the player progresses through the story, they will uncover secrets about their own past and the true nature of the artifact. I hate every story like this. And will ultimately have to make a choice about whether to use its power to save the world or succumb to it. Unless they talk about the object, like if there's a magical object at the beginning of the story and they tell you about the story, that's okay. If it's a series about the magical object and they never show you what the magical object is, it just pisses me off so bad. But let's go ahead and go back here real quick. So what were the things? Okay, so I need to develop a story. Create game mechanics. Create game mechanics using the above story. Now this might get messy because of all of the other queries that I've done. Okay, so as that's chanting out, oh yeah, that's the last guardian. So while that's working, I'm going to go to OpenAI Codex and start. Let's go ahead and sign up. Oh yeah, you can't look at that. Let's go here real quickly. I'm going to show you this because I've never played with this. Okay. So start with the basics, quick start tutorial, learn by building a quick sample app, examples, explore some sample tasks, text completion, image generation, embeddings, code completion, generate fine-tuning, train a model to use for your case. Brian, you really got to watch this whole episode, dude. And this is Brian Clark. Brian, blame me, I don't know if you care, but maybe you do, I don't know. If you want to, come up with something and make money or get the girls to do it. GBs, where was I going with this? So let's go back here and see how this did it. Here's some game mechanics that can be used in the video game based on the story The Last Guardian. The magic system. The player character has access to a variety of magical powers and abilities which they can use to defeat enemies and solve puzzles. The player can unlock new powers as they progress through the game. They can choose the powers to focus on and upgrade. Oh my god, you have different stacks? That's pretty sick. Character customization. The player can choose from a variety of different character classes and backgrounds, each with their own unique abilities and starting attributes. The player can also customize their character's appearance, choosing from different clothing and equipment options. Branching narrative. The player's actions and choices throughout the game will affect the story and the outcome of the game. This sounds like freaking Oblivion. The player will encounter branching dialogue options and decision points that will change the course of the story and unlock different ending scenarios. Companion characters, blah, 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 mini games and puzzles. Okay, oh yeah, we gotta go back here. And then we have to do the codex and all that stuff. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. My brain is goo. Reason being, as I was talking about the top of the show, monitoring 3 different chats while using a piece of software that I've never used before, and actually there was like multiple pieces of software that I've never used before, and talking about all different kinds of topics that I wasn't planning on talking about and all that other stuff. It requires a lot of mental juice. You better take your fish oil, kids, and don't eat no sugar. It's bad for you. It's bad for your brain. Sugar's actually bad for your brain. Ask Brian Clark. Yeah, Brian, this episode was largely about how to use ChatGPT and Google in combination with each other. And I did some use cases of that, like showing, this log. So specifically what I was originally trying to do is Amazon Open Data. And so I showed an example of that. But examples of stuff you could do with Amazon Open Data, you could do, you could get access to the geosynchronous satellites that are doing topography. They're doing topography images of the United States of America, and use that for soil erosion. Maybe you could use it for, an algorithm that studies soil erosion or river flow or that kind of stuff. And then you can go ahead and take that stuff and sell it. You love the blog update on AI examples. Hey, thanks, man. I'm actually, I think that's actually going to be like a big head of what I do. That in space and some mental health stuff. I'm going to stop talking about just how terrifying and scary all this crap is. Because there's a 20-minute segment of me just ranting about how dangerous this technology is in the middle of it, middle of this episode. But thanks, I appreciate that feedback. Share it with your friends and loved ones. Okay, I need more people to go to my stuff so I can do more stuff, so I can sell you guys more stuff. And I'm not selling you stuff; it's mostly that way I can get subscribers and people following me on social media. Don't follow me on Twitter; I'll just make you mad. Actually, I'm getting better about that. I made some realizations about stuff. How about we get newsy for a second? How about we get newsy? Because it's you guys. I mean, it's just you. Well, Bree might still be here. Are you still here, Bree? So I found that I fell into a... How would I describe this? This is too much for an episode, Brian. This is just too damn much for one episode. I found myself in a tribe online that was anti-swarm. And then my identity became anti-swarm. And I was willing to work with people in the Horde, regardless of who they were, as far as just so it can aid me in helping to defeat the swarm. And for those of you, it's a new concept. The swarm is people who said, stay home, save lives. If you're not out in the streets protesting, you're worse than the virus. It's okay if we have a nuclear war with Russia because it's worth it to defeat Putin. I mean, people who are scared to go out of their house and then 2 years later, they're flexing on nuclear weapons, okay? That's what the swarm is. It's this weird sort of intelligence that has emerged on social networks that does make its way into the real world because we're kind of we're the little bots walking around talking about these ideas and sharing them with other people. That's how you could see everybody get on board with the Ukrainian war, even though they know nothing about it. And it took a day. They took one day. They couldn't find Ukraine on a map. They don't know what language they speak there. They don't know about the Maidan rebellion. They don't know it's been stuck in a civil war for 8 years. But they're more than willing to just cheer on the war because, the intelligence agencies did such a good job of making people hate Russia, which is this whole separate subject. And it's maximalist in nature. It's based off of not your neocortex, which part of the brain is it? My brain's so spent, I'm going to have to look at a picture of the brain. Picture and label. Here, let's do some more stuff real quick so you can, use this thing to learn more. Picture and... let's do Google search. We'll do it that way. We can see it. Picture of brain with labels. Limbic, it's your limbic system, okay? So what social media is it's your limbic, and I didn't see it, it just took a minute, and a lot of times that's how ticklers work. But social media functions largely from your limbic system. It's very emotional. It's reactionary, so you see something, it's input, output. It's like you're saying bam, 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 bam. And what social media has done, specifically Twitter, it's the best one, but it's like bam, 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 bam. You have 100 million people doing that at the same time, blah, 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 blah. Which gets everybody's brains fired up, and it also shapes the narrative of the conversation around whatever the issue is. And then that goes out into media, and then that conversation affects the news and the programming and whatever. And so if you do something where you just get people's limbic system set on fire in order to push an agenda, you just, boom, get it like that. And I think it's the most dangerous thing that's ever existed. Like manipulating people's psychology on this level and networking it with a giant machine and getting hundreds of millions of people moving in the same direction without any concept of consequences whatsoever. Like 12-year-olds shouldn't have an opinion on Russia. Okay, they just shouldn't. But you can manipulate them, and so what they'll become is like little, warriors in this like keyboard war against whatever the current thing is. And it's anyway. So I found myself in that bubble of not that, but they're awful too. They're awful too. You know what, Brian? I think Brian Clark. I think I might like the globalist oligarchs more than the nationalist oligarchs. But I'm not sure. Let me see, Brian Clark. It's interesting. The anti-war, anti-gov, etc., democratic, progressive, liberal of decades past are all now wanting all the control, surveillance, medicine, and spend all the money, destroy Mother Russia. Well, there's a number of things that were behind that. Oh no, I'm showing off some leg. Yes, I'm still in my pajama bottoms. I dropped off my daughter at school in pajama bottoms. Because Honey Badger don't care. Anyways. Where was I going with that one, Brian? So I'm not talking about news anymore. I'm not talking about news anymore, but I will talk about the things. It is sexy, dude. Did you see that leg? Speaking of sexy, you got to find that fat ass Sean Humphrey and tell him to stop being so fat. Let me see. Let me see if I can find this article. Damn, where was it? I'm gonna have to check something. Well, that might actually. Twitter sucks for this. Twitter is the worst search engine in the universe. Twitter search is just god awful. Let me see. Actually, I'm gonna try using Google. Politic. I mean, I could find the article for you. Politics shifts 90 degrees in United States. This is it. So it's a meaningless, rotating politics 90 degrees clockwise. I write this during the 2016 American presidential election campaign, which pretends a massive political realignment. The two countercultures of the 60s through 80s created stable party coalitions that persisted for decades. This year, they're breaking up. And so understanding where these coalitions come from may help understand how they have functioned, why American politics is so polarized, and what may happen next. The countercultures redefine the American left and right from economic to values ideologies. Politics shifted from arguments about pragmatic policy questions to fight over meaningless itself. The Democrat and Republican parties reposition themselves as champions of the monst and dualist countercultural values, respectively. This polarizes American politics irresolvably. This guy likes words. What's your name, guy? I don't know where I wrote this. But this is one of those anti-war people, which I would say that I'm in that camp. So as far as like, if you want to put me in a political tribe, I am an anti-war maximalist. It's the thing I probably care the most about. Anyways, this is a great article that talks about it. So people are like, man, how did it flip? And that's actually, Brian, it is the most interesting question in the absolute universe is how in the F do they... like the oligarchs that run everything, get people to shift their political ideologies every quarter century? That's what I would love to know. I would love to know how the left became a bunch of freaking authoritarians and the right became anti-war. How How? Like, I mean, there might be information that came from it. You know, it's like, you're just like, you know, after Iraq and Afghanistan, maybe this whole war thing's a bad idea. I don't know. But then there was people who were just like, man, I hate Iraq and Afghanistan, and this is terrible and all these wars. But man, we need to start a war with Russia. Jesus Christ. Anyways, sexy bro, go talk to that Sean Humphrey and say, stop being such a bitch. I'm a B word. I'm sorry. This is for kids. B word. I didn't mean that. It's cancel. That's all I got, guys. My brain's fried. I'm going to go. Love you all. Angels on your pillow. You should play with these tools. I'm not even joking. Dude, just if you want to learn some freaking whatever. Oh, yeah. Brian Clark. One more. Sorry, I've been watching the videos or responding to stuff. Bree's in the same boat. I'm not going to click on any videos you guys send me. I'm not clicking on any videos anybody send me. All of my extra time, well, it's just been the holidays, and that's crazy, has been about, you know, pumping out articles and, you know, putting this stuff out on social media and learning as much as I can about AI. I don't think there's anything. Yeah, what these AI tools are, what these chat tools are, this is year one of Bitcoin. Okay, and you can get it in the top, and it's actually, I'd say it's more useful than Bitcoin in a lot of ways. I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. I think it's a cool technology, but I also think the oligarchs could shut it off like that if they wanted to. Because if you watch this video, you'll understand the architecture of the internet and the computers and everything, and realize that, you know, if you know, the central banks and the powers that be really wanted to shut off Bitcoin, they could do it like that. And it's not like they could shut it off, but they just make it too expensive to ever use it. And it's just like, you know, cut off network access for, you know, like it'll be the Great American Firewall. So you can't have, you know, Bitcoin in the United States or something like that. That'd be done. I will play with the tools next few days, head to Artesian 15 minutes. Man, say hi to the family. And yeah, play with these tools, dude. They're sick. They're sick, bro. It's a learning machine, dude. If you want to learn how to program or build something, literally, if you want to learn how to program, ask ChatGPT to teach you how. That's what I could have just had this whole episode be and save you guys an hour and a half. All right, but I'm going to go. Love you guys. Angels on your pillow. Take care. Bye-bye.